Hello, guys, gals, and non-binary pals. Welcome to Into the 99. I'm Lotus for another episode of Bring It Live, where we brew, with the help from chat, a commander deck from scratch. And always, with me, I have Han.
Hello.
Hello. So, today we are continuing on our cycle of our college campus trip. We're going to be with Silverquill today, doing Shadrix Silverquill. It's a Elder Dragon for 3 white black. It's a 2/5 flying double strike, and it has at the beginning of combat on your turn, you may choose 2. Each mode must target a different player. Target player creates a 2/1 white and black Inkling creature token with flying. Target player draws a card and loses 1 life, or target player puts a +1 counter on each creature they control.
Yep. Wall of text. We love it.
Wall of text, but interesting.
Yeah. Definitely interesting. I don't know how you decided to build this, Lotus. However, let's go right in. What do we like in Orzhov?
What do we like in Orzhov? We like death, taxes, and everything in between.
Okay, got it. So what kind of death do you want to do?
What kind of death do I want to do? Well,
Yeah.
how are we going to politically use this commander?
Political? This isn't a political card.
We don't want our opponents to know that.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, I was thinking that putting +1 counters on everything that we have was really good. Drawing a card and losing life was really good. So the only thing that we didn't really care about was the Inklings.
That's what you might think, but okay.
Well, I was going to suggest, correct me if I'm wrong, that if we give an Inkling to an opponent, we'll just put something like Illness in the ranks in the deck. So creature tokens get -1/-1.
Yeah. Illness in the ranks. 1 mana black for that enchantment, right? Creature tokens?
It is. So we can go, I'll give you a, oh, sorry, it died.
Okay. If we want to go ahead and piggyback on that, I suppose the one that makes the most sense is the Ravnica Allegiance one that gives other creatures -1/-1 for our opponents. Ethereal Absolution, right?
Ethereal, absolutely.
Yeah.
So do you want to read that one?
Yeah, so 4 white and black, 6 mana for a enchantment. Creatures we control get +1/+1, whereas the ones that our opponents control get -1/-1. So again, has that doubling up effect. Obviously, Illness in the ranks is 1 black, so it's definitely a little bit more mana efficient in that regard. But it doesn't buff our creatures.
Yeah.
And of course, as as we all know, Ethereal Absolution also has additional text that says 2 white and black, exile target card from an opponent's graveyard. So it's some graveyard hate. If it was a creature card, you create a 1/1 white and black spirit creature token with flying. So we can go ahead and make some extra tokens on our end that are going to actually, as a matter of fact, be 2/2s with this card out instead, while we give our opponents tokens, 2/1 Inkling tokens, and that's okay. So yeah, I have to disagree with you here a little bit. So for myself, I quite liked those Inkling creatures, the Inkling tokens. Now it's simply a matter of when we choose to use that for ourselves.
Right.
However, I'll just set the stage by saying that why not have a divine visitation in here?
So they're going to be 4/4 angels instead?
Yeah. What do you think?
I quite like that. So that actually turns our little Inklings, if we get them, into something a bit more powerful.
Yeah. Anytime. So Divine Visitation is 3 white for an enchantment. If one or more creature tokens would be created under your control, that many 4/4 white angel creature tokens with flying and vigilance are created instead. So,
Oh, oh,
flagellants,
oh.
flagellant
I, I,
angels.
I think if that's the way that you're going, I think Anointed Procession should go in then.
Absolutely. Now
Three
you're
and
getting it.
yeah, 3 and a white enchantment. If an effect would create one or more tokens, it creates twice that many instead.
Yep.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's a little bit of a hint of of what's to come. Ashen's in chat. Hey, Ashen. Authority of the consoles, if you plan to mainly give opponents tokens, also slows them down anyways. I 100% agree. So, Authority of the consoles is in my list here.
Okay.
Did you want to go ahead and read that one?
Yeah, single white enchantment. A creatures your opponent control enter the battlefield tapped, which means they can't block with the Inklings with our commander, which is pretty handy.
Yep.
Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under an opponent's control, gain 1 life.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
So
Oof.
that could actually counteract the life lost for drawing the card.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Authority of the consoles definitely gives you nice little bit of life there. Excuse me. And yeah, I like the life gain effect because I was also thinking that Shadrix is going to definitely have to, get us some card draw, right? That second ability, target player draws a card and loses 1 life. We definitely want to offset that life loss, but we definitely want to be drawing those cards.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I wholeheartedly agreed with that. For myself, I definitely may have put in the Soul Sisters. So for myself, Soul Warden and
Okay.
Soul's Attendant. They both have essentially the same effect, although one is a May, the other one is not. Both are 1 white for a creature. They are both 1/1s as well, I believe. And whenever another creature enters the battlefield, you gain 1 life. So these two in conjunction will also have the same effect of gaining us that life that we lose while we cycle through our deck and draw some cards.
Okay. In that case, if we're going to start gaining life from when creatures enter,
Mm-hmm.
I kind of like Veto in this instance.
You beat me to it.
Like, with the ability, whenever you gain life, target opponent loses that much is fantastic, but paying 5 mana for creatures you control gain lifelink, that can be enough to just kill someone.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Veto is a nice little potentially a win con in this deck depending on how well things go. Especially if we're swinging with some vigilant flying 4/4 angels.
Yeah,
Divine Visitation I heard is a good card.
I've heard that somewhere.
Somewhere, right? Um so along the same lines as what Ashton was saying with Authority of the Consul slowing people down, as well as the ability to gain that life that we lose from Shadrix. One of the ones that I really liked in this deck was actually a Blind Obedience.
Oh,
Let me preface this by saying that we're not going stacks with this, right? This is purely we are going to make some angels, some tokens of some sort. Excuse me. And the extort on here is just fantastic. You just get to pay a hybrid white or a black. And anytime you cast any spell, just pay that hybrid Orzhov, and you just get to drain the table for 1. It's a fantastic ability just to have. Nobody really minds it unless they are going artifact and creature heavy. In that case, they're going to get their creatures entering the battlefield tapped.
yep.
However, the extort trigger is essentially every time once every turn, if we're casting even 1 spell, we're going to go ahead and make up that 1 life lost from Shadrix in the earlier game.
Yeah.
And with the way this deck is going so far, it's not hard to say that we're going to be gaining a decent amount of extra life.
No, I get that. And You were saying that you want more card draw.
Card draw is fantastic. Yeah, absolutely.
So, do you know what else you can do with those 2/1 Inklings?
What are you thinking?
You can shove a skull clamp on them.
You certainly can. Yeah, Skull Clamp will go ahead and draw us 2 cards
Yeah.
off of every single Inkling. Yeah, for sure.
So, Skull Clamp is a single mana for an artifact equipment, equipped for 1. Equipped creature gets +1/-1, but when it dies, draw 2 cards.
Right. Ashen is in chat suggesting Solemnity to make the counters we give our opponents absolutely null and void.
Players can't get counters. Yeah.
Players can't get counters.
Yeah. Can't be put on artifacts, creatures, enchantments, or lands.
Yep. And the other card he's suggesting is Righteous War. So Righteous War is 1 white and black for an enchantment that reads all white creatures you control gain protection from black, and all black creatures you control gain protection from white. My thoughts on this. I'm not 100% certain about it.
I mean, I can see probably where they're coming from, because if we're giving them Inklings, our commander can still get through.
Right.
But
it's creatures that we control. So I don't
yeah,
believe it affects the creatures that we give them.
no.
However,
But
in
we're
terms
giving
of
them
blockers,
we're giving
right.
them creatures that are getting affected by these colors, and because we have protection, they can't block.
Okay.
But I'll add it to the maybe board for the minute.
Yeah, that's what I was going to suggest as well at the moment. So, yeah, I don't mind it. I think it'll depend largely on which direction we go with this deck as we progress.
Yeah.
However, now, so I also really liked a specific card in this deck. Plague Engineer is an interesting one. So, Plague Engineer has the fantastic ability. Well, so it's 2 and a black for a 2/2 with Death Touch. And as it enters the battlefield, you get to choose a creature type. Creatures of the chosen type your opponents control get -1/-1. So this will also do the same effect of if we name Inkling, they're going to go ahead and all die immediately. If anybody's playing a tribal deck, you can choose to name something else and make it a little bit nicer. That's fine.
Yeah. Plus the Death Touch gives it quite a nice little scary blocking.
Right.
Yeah. So, there's a card that we've not yet mentioned. It's early, so I doubt that it's not on our minds yet, but it's kind of an auto-include.
Auto-include, you say? Okay. Which one are you thinking about?
Smothering Tithe.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Smothering Tithe is fantastic.
3 and a white enchantment. Whenever an opponent draws a card, that player may pay 2. If the player doesn't, you create a treasure token. And if our commander, we can make someone draw a card. If they don't have the mana to pay the 2, gives us a little bit extra ramp.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. So I like divine. I like that a lot. I think that if we're getting a bunch of treasures every time somebody draws, which most tables like to draw cards. We're in Orzhov and we've been talking about drawing cards right off the bat.
Yep.
So yeah, lots of people just don't pay the 2, or they just hate this card and instantly will get rid of it immediately. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, if it wastes a removal spell, I'm happy.
So, something that I wanted to usher the direction of this deck to go. So, as I said, I mean, I kind of liked the idea of the life gain of just anytime you're gaining some life, getting some value out of it, right?
Okay.
So, I liked ideas such as Angelic Accord.
Ooh.
So here's another enchantment that is gonna get us. So it's 3 and a white for an enchantment that at the beginning of each end step, if you gained 4 or more life this turn, create a 4/4, excuse me, white angel creature token with flying. So again, we're just creating some angels. We like our tokens. Let's go ahead and make bigger and better flying tokens compared to the 2 ones we're giving out. That's the way I was thinking about it more.
That's fair. That's fair. I quite like that. It looks like we're going angel tribal at the minute.
I mean, yeah.
Just a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe.
But our commander is a dragon, so can I suggest a dragon that fits this theme?
Or what do you got?
Sun-Scorched Regent.
Sun-Scorched Regent.
3 white for a 4/3 dragon with flying. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, put a +1 counter on it and gain a life.
Okay.
That, if our opponents are casting multiple spells, could be enough to trigger things like Angelic Accord.
Okay.
And if we've got Veto out, just hurts them that little bit extra.
Okay. I think that's great. I think if we're gonna go ahead and throw a dragon in like that, that's gonna trigger some life. My counter to that would also be add an Angel of Vitality. Angel of Vitality, it's an uncommon out of M20, 2 and a white for a flying 2/2 angel. If you would gain life, you gain that much life +1. Instead, an Angel of Vitality, excuse me, gets +2/+2 as long as you have 25 or more life.
Oh no, how will we ever get that high?
We don't start with almost double that. It's fine. So, speaking of dragons, however,
yeah,
I did notice. I don't know if you noticed, but there's a lot of elder dragons coming in with this set, right?
of course.
Well, what has protection from dragons?
Go on.
M21. Let's get this Baneslayer angel in just out of meta.
Oh, right, yes.
So 3 white for a 5/5 angel, flying, first strike, lifelink, protection from demons and from dragons. It's definitely a meta card because we're seeing a lot of elder dragons lately.
Yeah, that's fair. And
But
can kill all of them, I believe.
pretty much, especially with any kind of ethereal absolution or anything that buffs other creatures.
Yeah.
And to that effect, why not? Let's just go ahead and throw in a Lyra Dawnbringer. So Lyra is a 5/5 angel out of Dominaria. 3 white, has flying, first strike, lifelink. Other angels we control get +1/+1 and gain lifelink. We like life.
We do. That leads me on to something I want to suggest now.
Sure.
How about Archangel of Thune?
Yeah.
3 white for an angel, 3/4 flying lifelink. Whenever you gain life, put a +1 counter on each creature you control. Again, that's very similar to what our commander wants to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and make sure that these are all
Big
Hey,
scary
if I'm giving you +1/+1 every combat, I want +1/+1 as well. This is a fair trade.
Yeah. Fair.
Action is suggesting in chat. So Valkyrie Harbinger. So it's the second Angelic Accord is what he's saying. So Valkyrie Harbinger. It's 4 white. This is a Angel Cleric out of Call-Time, I believe.
Yep.
4/5 for a flying life-linking Angel Cleric. At the beginning of each end step, if you gain 4 or more life this turn, create a 4/4 white angel creature token with flying and vigilance. I love it.
Yeah. I like that. That makes that quite scary. What was that angel that said
Which one?
whenever an angel or a cleric entered the battlefield, gain 4 life?
Gain 4 life specifically.
Or not 4 life specifically, life equal to its
Oh,
toughness.
sure. Yep. Righteous Valkyrie, rather.
Yeah.
Yeah. So go ahead. You want to read off Righteous Valkyrie?
Yeah, it's 2 and a white for an angel cleric with flying, 2/4. Whenever another angel or cleric enters the battlefield under your control, you gain life equal to that creature's toughness. As long as you have at least 7 life or more than your starting life total, creatures you control get +2/+2.
Oh no, however, will we ever get 7 more life than our starting life total?
I know, but Vito's a cleric. Then we have Angel,
Yeah.
Soul Attendant's a cleric. Soul Warden's a cleric.
Yep. These are all having.
Quite a good bit of synergy there.
Yep. Uh, I would be remiss to miss in this deck. A Herald of War.
Okay.
So Herald of War is a 3 it's a 3/3 flying angel. 3 white. Whenever Herald of War attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on it. The next ability is the key one here though. Angel spells and human spells you cast cost 1 less to cast for each +1/+1 counter on Herald of War. So as we attack, our angels are going to get even cheaper. I don't know why we would need any angels to be cheaper and less expensive. We're not going to run, 7, 8, 9 drops at all.
No, definitely not.
Nah. Angels aren't known to do that, right?
Of course not. Do you want more angels?
Yes, please.
Okay, so in theme with what we're doing, gaining life, making angels, gaining life, what about Resplendent Angel?
Resplendid Angel.
Splendid Angel is 1 white for a 3/3 angel with flying. At the beginning of each end step, if you gained 5 or more life this turn, create a 4/4 angel with flying and vigilance. Pay
Yes, please.
3
More angels.
white until end of turn. It gets +2/+2 and lifelink.
Yep. Let's chuck that right in there. I like it.
This is like a dragon tribal cleric.
Dragon tribal. We only have 1 dragon in here.
We got 2, the commander and that other one.
No, it's just a token generator. It's gonna make us some angels.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, it's a good time though. So there's a fun one that I saw out of call time. I would say this maybe just goes into maybe board, but I want to mention it because we're an Orzhov. We're not a mono white deck.
No.
So the fun angel that I want to suggest here is a Renegade Reaper. Renegade Reaper is 2 and 0 black for a 2/3 flying angel berserker out of call time. We love berserking angels. It just sounds like a good time. When Renegade Reaper enters the battlefield, you're going to mill 4 cards. If at least 1 angel card is milled this way, you're going to gain 4 life.
I agree with you. It's definitely a maybe. It's not maybe.
Well, no, we could throw in the maybe board for now. We'll revisit it, but
I do have to just highlight what Ashen said. Blot out the sky. So on the Into the 99 podcast, if this site has it, there it is. So this card is X white black for a sorcery. Create X tapped 2/1 white and black inkling creature tokens with flying. If X is 6 or more, destroy all non-creature, non-land permanents. So it keeps all of our big angels alive, but destroys all those other pesky things. Anything that's like a, I don't know, ghostly prison, propaganda, smothering tithes that others have. It's a good
Yeah.
reset.
Yeah, I quite like it. It's a pretty fantastic card. I saw that and immediately went, okay, we're gonna make a bunch of angels. Divine Visitation all the way, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, if we do have that and Anointed Procession, that's just a lot of value straight there.
I mean, to be fair, if you have either Anointed Procession or Divine Visitation out and it's staying on the board, it's gonna get you a ton of value. So yeah, it's gonna be good times.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like Blot Out the Sky. Ashen has a couple of that are in chat right now. Rampage of the Valkyries, fantastic one that came out in Call Time, I believe. Where's my Rampage of the Valkyries? There we go. Yeah, Rampage of the Valkyries, 3 white and a black for an enchantment. When Rampage of the Valkyries enters the battlefield, create a 4/4 white angel creature token with flying and vigilance. Whenever an angel you control dies, each other player sacrifices a creature. Grave Pact for my angels. Don't mess with them.
Yeah.
Dictate of Erebos. Stop attacking me. If you're gonna attack me and one of my angels die, you're not gonna like it.
How did we end up with Angel Tribal for a dragon deck?
That was me.
Yeah,
So
I thought it would be.
yeah, that's okay though. I'm good with it. So yeah, I also found a couple of cards in Strixhaven that are fantastic includes. Um, one of the ones that I just thought was absolutely insane. Uh, Scholarship Sponsor. Have you taken a
Scholarships.
look at that one yet? Yeah. So Scholarship Sponsor is 3 and a white. It's a 3/3 human advisor. And when it enters the battlefield, each player who controls fewer lands than the player who controls the most lands searches their library for a number of basic land cards less than or equal to the difference. Puts those cards onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffles.
Oh, I like that.
So we're in white, black. We're not in green. But if somebody at the table is running some green ramp, your cultivates, your rampant growths, and trying to get ahead on lands, uh, excuse me, I would like to go ahead and find some basic land cards and just put them onto the battlefield tapped, and thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
I spent four mana on this. I'm quite okay with this.
Yeah, I like that. Though
Yeah,
I
it's
did find a card
mm,
that you like playing in green, and I found it in Orzhov. Sorry, Silverquill. So you like playing Arachnogenesis.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You love Arachnogenesis.
I mean,
So
I do.
I found this one in the Commander deck's Ink Shield.
Yeah, I already know about this one.
Yep. 3 white black for an instant. Prevent all
Go
combat
on.
damage that would be dealt to you this turn. For each 1 damage prevented this way, create a 2/1 white and black Inkling creature token with flying. Oh, that's insane.
Imagine that with Divine Visitation. Just saying, right? Just think about it. Oh,
I mean, yes, it's 5 mana, but holy moly, that's going to get you a lot of crack back when they...
we got yeah. First of all, it's an instant speed fog in Orzhov specifically,
Yeah.
right? Okay. And we're gonna get an upside out of it. I think it's worth running. It's a fantastic new card. I love it so much. It's got a little bit of everything you want in the deck, and just hold it up. People aren't gonna expect it because it's a newer card, no less. So, yeah, gotcha.
So, can you imagine? It probably won't be too difficult to do, but you have Divine Visitation on the board.
Mm-hmm.
You have Righteous Valkyrie on the board, and you block, for example, 10 damage. You
Right.
create 10 4/4s. Righteous Valkyrie sees all of them, and you gain 40 life.
Yeah.
And you then have 40 power on the board. That's that's scary.
I don't know what you're talking about. It's not scary until
Not
it's too
for
late.
us.
Until it's too late.
Till it's too late.
Yeah, you thought you were swinging out on me. No, no, no. So with a lot of these cards, I believe we have a lot of angels, right?
Yes.
Okay. Uh, are you aware of Starnheim Aspirant? If you aren't already, you should be. You have a mono white angel deck. So Starnheim Aspirant is 2 and a white for a 2/2 human cleric.
Oh, the cleric's relevant.
Yep, relevant. And it just reads angel spells you cast cost 2 less to cast.
Yeah, I do have this in my mono white angel deck. It's so good because dragons have 2 versions of this, and angels had that one that you suggested earlier. Oh, I can't find it now. But yeah, there's only Herald of War.
Yeah.
So we had Herald of War. But dragons had the goblin and the other one that just reduced them by 1 just by being on the board. So having this is absolutely fantastic.
Yep. So, yeah, we got some we got some we got some angels that are getting cheaper for sure. I quite
Yeah.
like it a lot.
How mean do
Yeah,
you
go
want to
ahead.
go?
Oh, we want to go mean already?
I mean, it's not too mean, but it's mean.
Okay, what you got? What you thinking?
I'm thinking of a good old favourite, Elish Norn.
Sure.
They're definitely not getting inklings with this on the board.
Right. Okay.
And if our commander is a double striking dragon, giving it +2
Yeah,
it's just
becomes a 4 damage double strike, so 8
yeah,
damage from commander. Okay, okay.
it's not the
I can see
most
it.
it's not the most finesse of cards, but I feel that we are going to want to attack with our commander quite a lot to get our triggers, and
Sure.
this is just
That's
going to
fair.
help along the way.
I can see that. So, I feel like we need to backtrack a little bit here. So let's go ahead and add some good value cards, I think here. One being Keeper of the Accord is one of my personal favorites. I really like being able to search your library for a basic planes card because somebody is already ahead of me. Let me read the card specifically though. So 3 and a white for a 3/4 human soldier. At the beginning of each opponent's end step, if that player controls more creatures than you, create a 1/1 white soldier creature token. Create a 4/4 angel. Yep. At the beginning of each opponent's end step, if that player controls more lands than you may search your library for a basic plains card, put it onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle your library. So kind of hand in hand with the scholarship sponsor that I mentioned earlier. But yeah, let's just catch up on some lands that we're behind on for whatever reason.
Yeah. In that instance, then, would you like a Weathered Wayfarer?
Absolutely. So that was going to be my other one. So Weathered Wayfarer. You want to go ahead and take this one? You used it
I
and introduced
know,
me to
I
it.
love this one. It's a single white for a 1/1. So for a single white and tap, search your library for a land, any land, and put it into your hand. Then shuffle your library. Pay this ability only if an opponent controls more lands than you. It's bound to happen, but you can get any land you want.
Yep. Speaking of lands, so since we're on the topic of Weathered Wayfarer fetching us any land, let's go ahead and talk about some lands that are going to be very nice for us here. Let's go right in. I want to mention right off the bat, Seraph Sanctuary. Not run very often. It's going to get run in this deck because Seraph Sanctuary reads, when Seraph Sanctuary enters the battlefield, you gain 1 life. Whenever an angel enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 1 life.
Yep.
Tap it and add a colorless to your mana pool. It doesn't come in tapped. Just does it.
Yeah. I run that in my
And
angel deck, and it's wonderful.
fantastic angel card for sure. And the other one I want to mention is Vault of the Archangel. So Vault of the Archangel is a land that just taps to add 1 to your mana pool. Nothing else. Just kidding. It's 2 and Orzhov, so 4 mana, and you tap it, and all your creatures gain Death Touch and Lifelink. Which, yeah, who doesn't want Death Touch? Who doesn't want Lifelink? Let's go ahead and throw it in there. Instant speed. Do you have 4 mana up? It's scarier when you attack that way. You should do it.
Yeah. It's a beautiful card again.
Now, did you want to add a 3rd land that I know you always run with Weathered Wayfarer that you love?
Emiria of the Sky Ruin, I believe it is.
Yeah.
There it is. Emiria the Sky Ruin. It enters the battlefield tapped. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 7 or more planes, not basics, just planes, you may return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield, and it taps for a white. So remember, the Weathered Wayfarer can get any land. It's probably best to go get this one quite nice and early.
Yeah, for sure. It's one of the all-star cards to pick up out of Weathered Wayfarer for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, Benson's in chat. Some gnarly cards. I don't play white, but when I do, it has Wayfarer.
Yeah. It's a good card, and I think it needs to be played more often.
It really does. It's a fantastic card. I think actually Ashen mentioned this earlier. Fear has Retribution. Kaldheim Saga. 1 white, white, and black. Create a 4/4 white angel warrior creature token with flying and vigilance for chapter 1. For chapter 2.
What was the name of it?
Firja, Firja. Firja's Retribution. Chapter number 2. Until end of turn, angels you control gain tap. Destroy target creature with power less than this creature's power.
Oh, wow. Why haven't I seen this before?
And 3. Angels you control gain double strike until end of turn.
Sure. That's
Yeah.
Sure. When did this exist? Why have I not seen this before?
Because we haven't built Orzhov angels. It's always mono white angels. That's why you probably haven't seen it.
That's fair. That's fair.
And speaking of, so nice Orzhov related angel, Eradicator Valkyrie.
Okay.
So 2 black for the 4/3 angel berserker, flying, life, hexproof from planeswalkers. Boast, 1 in a black, sacrifice a creature. Could be a token, could be an inkling, could be whatever. Each opponent sacrifices a creature or planeswalker.
I like that it has a planeswalker on there as well.
Yep.
I like that.
It's quite nice. And
we're gaining a lot of life, aren't we?
Uh-huh.
I think we should add a little bit more death to our taxes. I say taxes. Let's just add some death. Let's add Patricia.
You had me at death.
Fair. Indulging Patrician. 1 white black for a 1/4 flying life-linking vampire noble. At the beginning of your end step, if you gained 3 or more life this turn, each opponent loses 3 life. If our 4/4 angels are coming in and dealing life-linking damage or gaining us life for ETBs or anything along those lines, I think that's pretty good just to start taxing them.
Yeah.
Goes hand in hand with veto, so it just doubles the effect slightly.
Sure. My version of this was actually in Kambal, Console of Allocation. Kambal is known to be a nice card, right?
Yeah,
Everybody
he's
loves
all right.
Kambal.
He's a nice
Okay.
chap.
That one's a 2/3 human advisor. Whenever an opponent casts a non-creature spell, that player loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. So it's a little bit more life gain, and it's any non-creature spell. Um, which one do you like better? I don't mind yours at all either, to be honest, though.
Mine only triggers in our end step, where the one you suggested is everything. So I'm happy to move mine to the maybe board and make room for Kambal.
Okay.
Plus,
Yeah,
he's
I
a
didn't know if you wanted
human,
the
so he can become cheaper from Herald of War.
right. So yeah, that was just one thought I had. But yeah, it just depends on how quote unquote mean you want to get with it, I suppose.
I don't
Um,
play mean. I don't know what you're on about.
I'm giving you a look right now, Lotus.
I I'm not looking at the screen, so I can't see
Good.
this look. I'm definitely not editing that out.
So yeah, I know we mentioned planeswalkers. I quite like a couple.
Okay.
There's three total that I really liked for this deck, but you tell me, right? So the first one I wanted to mention was Tevish Zot. So
Ugh.
in my head, instead of creating 2/0/1 black thrall creature tokens,
I can't even.
+2
There he
create
is.
two 4/4 angels with vigilance and flying. I mean, again, this is all surrounding divine visitation and just wanting it to happen. There's no way that divine visitation and Teverzat exist on the same plane ever on a board state.
You'd be surprised.
But even on top of that, right? So outside of the +2, Teverzat, by the way, 4 and a black comes in with 4 loyalty. I just explained what the +2 effect does. +1, you may sacrifice another creature or planeswalker. If you do, draw 2 cards. Then draw another card if the sacrificed permanent was a commander. So we're not typically going to go ahead and draw 3 cards and sacrifice a commander off of this. It's just not going to happen.
That's fair.
However, we're making some creature tokens. We can sacrifice any of those. It doesn't say non-token creature. We can just sacrifice one of those and draw 2 cards. And it's still a plus effect.
Yeah, that's understandable. But
Okay.
did you want to do the disgusting -10?
Oh, no. That never even happens. So -10. Gain control of all commanders. Plus, put all commanders from the command zone onto the battlefield under your control.
That's a nice way of cheating out our commander
Mm-hmm.
and everyone
Yep.
else's.
And everyone else's, they're all ours.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
sure.
So that I've never seen that resolve and the game doesn't end. Most people wind up scooping at that point, right?
Yeah,
But it also never happens. I don't think I've ever seen that actually occur.
I have. It's horrible. And it
Oh,
didn't
well,
end the game.
that's even worse, I think, actually.
But it was funny.
That is 9 circles of hell of okay, we're just gonna dredge through this now.
So
Okay.
before you go on to your other two planeswalkers, I'm going to mention this card, which is what saved me and made the game go on a little bit longer for me to survive. Homeward Path. It's a
Yeah,
land.
yeah.
It taps for colorless. But tap. Each player gains control of all creatures they own. Luckily, my commander was a creature where others were running
Okay.
planeswalkers.
Oh yeah, that's a horrible time.
Yep. But this card is slowly creeping up in price a lot. And I would recommend anyone buying this card because there's so many steal effects in Commander these days.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Nobody steals anything. Blue players don't steal stuff. Red players don't steal stuff. They don't sacrifice it afterwards.
No. What's your second one?
So I really wanted to throw in the new Kaya, Kaya the Inexorable. So 3 in Orzhov for Kaya. Comes in with 5 loyalty, and the +1 ability is put a ghost form counter on up to 1 target non-token creature.
Okay.
It gains when this creature dies or is put into exile. Return it to its owner's hand and create a 1/1 white spirit creature token with flying. So, for those of you that don't know, Ghost Form is also a card, but I just wanted to put Kaya in instead. It basically has that effect where you can either have the creature die or put into exile. You just bring it back to your owner's hand in this case with Kaya's ability, and you get to create a 1/1 white spirit creature token. I believe the ghost form card itself actually just brings it back to the battlefield, or is that no? That's Kaya's ghost form, right?
Kaya's ghost form is
Yeah.
a enchantment that says when it dies or gets exiled, return it to the battlefield.
Yep. So instead, it'll go back to your hand. I don't think that's the worst thing here with Shadrix because it's just going to cost you 5 to play it out of your hand.
I mean, we have quite a few ETB stuff as well, so I think it could be more beneficial.
Yeah. Um, and the -3 ability is exile a target non-land permanent. Fantastic. We always love
Amazing.
it. And the -7, you get an emblem with at the beginning of your upkeep. You may cast a legendary spell from your hand, from your graveyard, or from among cards you own in exile without paying its mana cost. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah. Let's go ahead and get that out.
yeah. I
Kyle will Kyle will do some work.
I need to start playing that Kaya.
It's a fantastic planeswalker. It does have some niche usages, however, though. But yeah, it's a good time. It's only 2 activations and then emblem.
Yeah.
Uh, third planeswalker that I had was Sarah the Benevolent.
That was the one I was going to actually suggest if you didn't.
Yeah. Go ahead, take it away.
So, Sarah the Benevolent is one I run in my mono white angel deck. It's 2 white for a 4 loyalty planeswalker. +2. Creatures you control with flying get +1/+1 to end a turn. -3. Create a 4/4 angel creature token with flying and vigilance. Or my favourite, -6. Which you can do after just 1 activation. You get an emblem that's basically worship. If you control a creature, damage that would reduce your life total to less than 1 reduces it to 1 instead.
Did anybody else hear the little chuckle / laugh in her voice when she said you can activate the ultimate after 1 activation? Because I did.
What do you mean?
Uh-huh. Yeah. Okay, got it.
I love that planeswalker so much.
It's pretty fantastic. I will not disagree on that front. Yeah. I think we're at the point.
Quiet, Ashen. I didn't.
Ashen, call her out. Call her out. So I think we're at the point here. We're at 74 cards, I believe, 75. And let's go ahead and let's start talking about some of our surrounding cards, I think, right? So we're talking about removal. We already talked a little bit about some ramp / kind of get back to your mana.
Okay. So removal. Are we gonna do?
We have some fantastic ones in Orzhov, right?
Yeah, we have. What's
Which one are you thinking of?
Dire Tactics is a really nice one if I remember what it does right.
Yeah.
Dire Tactics was the
Ikoria, right?
Yeah, Encore, white and black instant, exile target creature. If you don't control a human, lose life equal to that creature's toughness. It's just a 2-mana exile a creature.
Yeah. And we have quite a few humans in this deck. Don't get us wrong here.
We have a lot of life gain as well.
Right. Yep. So, I mean, I'm going to go ahead and go with some of the staples in Orzhov. So we have Anguished Unmaking, right? We also have a Merciless Eviction if you feel like running that one. Anguished Unmaking is the one that 1 white and a black for an instant. Exile target non-land permanent. You lose 3 life. 3 life is inconsequential in this deck. We're gonna gain so much life off of this.
Yeah.
And Merciless Eviction is 4 white and a black, and you get to choose one. Exile, choose artifacts, creatures, enchantments, planeswalkers, all of them. Bye bye.
Yeah.
Whatever's the problem, let's get rid of it.
Did you want to run Swords to Plowshare?
Yep, that's the one that I quite enjoyed in this deck specifically. Hey, we're just gonna gain life equal to the power, or if we decide to exile something on our side, which happens occasionally, if somebody wants to do some shenanigans of copying our stuff and things like that,
Or
but
stealing.
right. But we also have Kaya to bring it back from exile, so niche usage, but yeah, I like it. And we're gonna gain more life than our opponents, so yeah, let's run Swords to Plowshares. The other obvious one that you run in white, Generous Gift, lately is just everywhere. Give somebody an elephant. It's white beast within.
Yeah.
I
think we need 2 board wipes.
Sure.
So
you want to name one?
Damnation, I think, is one that I quite like at the moment, seeing as it's just been reprinted. 2 black, destroy all creatures, they can't be regenerated. Simple.
Sure. Yeah, nice and simple.
Yeah.
Clean,
simple, job's done.
The one that I like, I'm gonna go ahead and say Fumigate. So Fumigate, 3 white for a sorcery that says destroy all creatures. You gain 1 life for each creature destroyed this way.
Yeah.
Other board wipes that you can run, you have Kaya's Wrath in Orzhov, you have Doomscar you can run, and obviously Wrath of God as well for the white version of Damnation. All of these are fantastic. Just pick and choose whichever ones that you want. I think I like Damnation and Fumigate for my 2 in this deck. I'm quite happy with that.
Yeah. So, what do you do if we're board wiped?
We're board wiped.
Yeah.
What are you thinking?
I'm thinking...
I know you've got some shenanigans.
I've got some. So, Thrilling Encore.
Thrilling Encore.
Thrilling Encore is an instant for 4 and a black. Put onto the battlefield under your control all creature cards in all graveyards that were put there from the battlefield this turn.
Sure. Seems fair.
I absolutely love this card. Even if we board wipe, we get everything.
Sure. My version of this is going to be Eerie Interlude. But yeah, I mean, Thrilling Encore does not get run enough. I 100% agree with that. It's out of Battle Bond. It's relatively speaking not, terribly cheap, but it's not stupid expensive either. Sitting at $5.50. Yeah, go get yourself a copy of this and just be ready for the board wipe. Might as well.
And Eerie Interlude?
Yeah. So Eerie Interlude is 2 and a white for an instant. Exile any number of target creatures you control. Return those cards to the battlefield under their owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. As you may have noticed, we have some ETB effects.
Yeah.
So, I mean, order your triggers, have one of the Soul Sisters, and then everything else come back. Gain a bunch of life. I'm happy with that.
Yeah, it's great protection. I like it.
So, what are we at right now? We're at...
So, Ashen says that Generous Gift could be exchanged. As we're in Orzhov, we have better options, which I can agree. Utter End, Despark, Unmake. So, Unmake is Orzhov, Hydrid. Exile target creature. Now, the thing is, Generous Gift destroys a permanent. Am I right in saying that?
Yes. So it's destroy target permanent, so it's not necessarily a specific type of thing, such as a creature, which I mean, I'm open to it.
So
I was honestly going to. I'm
utter
sorry. Go ahead.
end is slightly better then. So it's an
Right.
extra mana, 2 white black, exile non-land permanent. So I would still like to run Generous Gift because I can blow up lands, but I do like the fact that Utter End will exile something and get it away for good.
Sure. Yeah, I'm okay with it.
Hmm.
Um, I would also say that um, there's a nice one in Fracture to be discussed, I believe. So this one, Fracture, is out of Strixhaven. It's a Silverquill card. There you go, Lotus. Instant, it destroys an artifact, enchantment, or planeswalker.
I quite like that.
Yeah, the art's pretty fantastic on it too.
That's beautiful.
Um, However, yeah, I mean, a little bit more niche. It doesn't hit a creature. It's not, any non-land permanent. But a pretty fantastic card that's coming out at the very least. I would say, if nothing else, put Fracture in a maybe board situation here.
Yeah. Ashen's also suggesting Cosmic Intervention instead of Eerie Interlude. So Cosmic Intervention is 3 and a white instant. If a permanent you control would be put into a graveyard from the battlefield this turn, exile it instead. Return it to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. Foretell for
Yeah,
1 and a white.
yep, let's
Yeah,
do it. It seems fantastic. Yeah, let's go ahead.
yeah. Let's move Eerie Interlude to the maybe board. Yeah,
I think Cosmic Intervention was supposed to be 2.0, meaning that it's as well as Eerie Interlude, so just as a secondary,
right.
redundancy.
Let's put that back in then. Awesome.
So yeah, and as far as ramp, what's the best kind of ramp?
Go
Just
on.
making things, just making things cheaper to begin with.
Are you
Uh,
talking
I
about
think
as his incubator?
no, I was talking about a Catcher's Monument.
Oh, okay.
So white creature spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. It's a 3 mana legendary artifact,
Mm-hmm.
and whenever you cast a creature spell, create a 1/1 white warrior creature token with vigilance. So we're just gonna cast the creature anyways. We're gonna get a vigilant 1/1 out of it at the very least,
Yeah.
and all of our angels are gonna cost at least 1 less, minus the black-based ones, which they're in there, few and far between, but they're in there. What do you think?
I like that. Are we going to go for Bonte's Monument as well?
Blanches is the black one. Is it the drain effect?
Whenever you cast a creature spell, which opponent loses a life, you gain a life.
My only hesitance on that is that we have a lot of white creatures, if I'm not mistaken.
That's fair. I mean, our commander, Veto, Plague Engineer, Cabal, Eradicator. We only have like 5, so maybe not the best of options.
Yeah, I think it's okay. However, yeah, for me, I think it's a maybe. Um, oh, you know what angel we did forget?
We've forgotten a lot of angels, but
What fits really well in this theme?
what fits really well in this theme?
Yeah, that's an angel. Might even be a cleric. Likes life gain.
Go on, there's so many.
I know it's practically like half of the list of angels. Destiny, Angel of Destiny. So 3 white, white, flying, double striking angel cleric, 2/6. So 6 life if it comes in with the creature that likes the toughness
Yeah,
and
that's fair.
gains you that much life. And this creature is just very casual. 2/6 flying double strike that whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, you and that player each gain that much life. Let's get a lot of life here. And at the beginning of your end step, if you have at least 15 more life than your starting life total, each player, Angel of Destiny attacked this turn, loses the game. Don't worry. We won't have more than 15 life on top of our starting life total.
I doubt that. I really
It's never.
it,
It'll never happen.
no. So I think we need a little bit more life gain.
Hmm. Which
How?
one are you thinking?
See, I quite like the Whip of Erebos.
Okay. I like the whip a lot.
The whip gives all creatures that we have lifelink. Two
Man.
black, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. It gains haste, exile it at the beginning of the next end step. If it would leave the battlefield, exile it instead of putting it into anywhere else. Activate this ability only as a sorcery. If we're running Kaya and we can cast things from exile, do we really care?
I think the creatures you control have life ink is pretty fantastic in and of
Yeah.
itself, though, right? So yeah.
What?
But it says a secondary reanimate effect. I think I like it a lot.
Yeah. Why was you thinking of
And
Shadow Spear?
no, I was thinking of Bishop of Wings.
Oh.
So human cleric, it's a 1/4, 2 mana, 2 white for this creature, and it just says whenever an angel enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 4 life, and whenever an angel you control dies, create a 1/1 white spirit creature token with flying. 1/4 body, so yeah, again,
Yeah.
pretty beefy. 2 mana, nice blocker early. Doesn't say that we're playing angels at all.
No. It's how strange this deck's become. We were
What do you mean?
building the commander's a elder dragon and we're running angels.
I mean, yes, but it's just our angel overlord.
That's true.
Yeah.
Um we are in white and we are going to need to have consistent land drops.
Oh, land drops. Okay.
So land tax I think is something that we do need to consider. A single white for an enchantment at the beginning of your upkeep. If an opponent controls more lands than you may search your library for up to 3 basic land cards. Reveal them, put them in your hand, shuffle your library.
Sure. For me, that was the scholarship sponsor.
That's
It's
fair.
a plain equalizer in terms of one person ramping out really, really hard as far as their land counts. And it also allows other people to look at you positively when you do that. Um, yeah, I think it's a good include here for sure. What do you think of some value slash recursion? Because I think that we're in Orzhov. We
Yeah.
like things coming back. Like, you kind of tapped on it, touched upon it with Whip of Erebos. Um, I was thinking things along the lines of Sun Titan and maybe an Animate Dead, things to bring it back.
Which one
So,
would you prefer?
well, I mean, why not both? So, Sun Titan is 4 white for a 6/6 vigilance creature. And when it enters the battlefield or attacks, you can return a target permanent card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. So with that, you can get any creature that's 3 or less CMC. You can also get back Animate Dead. You can get back, things just anything that has 3 CMC and has some value. So you can get back a Veto. You can get back any of the Soul Wardens. You can get back Angel of Vitality. The list goes on. There's a lot of creatures that you can just get back, and Bishop of Wings we just mentioned. Just every time an angel enters the battlefield, we gain 4 life. Let's keep it going.
Yeah, okay. I agree.
So, yeah, I like that a lot. The other one that I wanted to suggest here was Victimize. So, Victimize, 2 and a black for a sorcery. Choose 2 target creature cards in your graveyard, and you sacrifice a creature. If you do, return the chosen cards to the battlefield tapped. So let's get back 2 creatures for a token. 1/1 Spirit, 2/1 Inkling.
Yeah. I agree with that. That's yeah.
Seems fair.
I think being in Orzhov, we have the land searching, we have a little bit of ramp. I do feel that we do need some mana rocks. Um, with our commander being 5 CMC, I think that this is the time for a soul ring.
Sure.
Um,
Certainly.
and an arcane signet.
Okay.
Just to get the early ramp out, because we don't have access to Kadama's Reach, Cultivate, or any sort of luxury like that. So having the mana rocks, I think, will help us a little bit more.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that at all. Let's see here. Ooh. So, did you still want to ramp though?
Well, yeah, I was trying to find a card that was recently spoiled, and I've just found it.
Okay.
It goes kind of hand in hand with land tax. So,
Okay.
Archaeomancer's Map.
I'm not familiar with this one.
So, Archaeomancer's Map is 2 and a white for an artifact. This is in the Lorehold or Boros Commander Precom. So, 2 and a
Yep.
white for an artifact. When it enters the battlefield, search your library for up to 2 basic playing cards, reveal them, put them into your hand, and shuffle.
Okay.
Whenever a land enters the battlefield under an opponent's control, if that player controls more lands than you, you may put a land from your hand onto the battlefield.
Okay. Yeah. So we got burgeoning on a white artifact.
Yeah, I was looking for it for quite some time because I couldn't remember what it was and I hadn't wrote it in my notes. But this
Wow.
card, I think, is going to become very expensive.
Oh yeah.
It's definitely white ramp at its finest.
Yep. I yeah, I would definitely agree with that. I think that this is really, really fantastic. Any kind of white ramp or yeah, land tax, even like so just to go hand in hand with the scholarship sponsor. I mean, it's the difference in terms of the number of lands, highest and fewest players. So you can just do that and then just start spitting out lands. Yeah.
Yeah, this is a kind of card that will keep you almost ramping as hard as a mono green or Simic player that's ramping throughout the whole game. If you can keep getting lands into your hand, you're going to keep up with them.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, that card's going to be insane, and it's so flexible too because it's got just the white requirement. It's not like it's, an Orzhov requirement or a color combination. So yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
and it gets you
Um,
2 lands to start fueling the fire, so to speak.
yep, totally agree. One card that I actually was remiss in mentioning when we were discussing some value cards here. What do you think of a Ravos Soul Tender in this deck? So Ravos Soul Tender is 3 white and a black for a human cleric, flying 2/2. It's a lord. Other creatures you control get +1/+1.
Okay,
And at the beginning of your upkeep, you may return a target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Also has
simple.
partner.
Yeah,
But I mean, get some get some value out of all your cards being in the graveyard. Bring it back. It's a lord. It's a cleric. We like it.
yeah, it's simple. I like it. Yeah.
So at this point, uh, what are your thoughts on both? So what I want to say is win cons are kind of a thing that I wanted to discuss,
Okay.
but also how big of a threat are we with what we have? Do you think? Do we need some kind of protection in terms of like, let's say like a ghostly prison or one of my favorites that people just don't run enough, but I love it and we're gonna have so much life in this deck. Norn's Annex was a thought that I had.
So I reckon we're running a lot of enchantments.
Mm-hmm.
I think there is 4, maybe 5 effects that I would run.
Okay.
So I will run through a few of them, and then you decide what you would like.
Okay.
So we've got Norn's Annex, as you say.
It's an artifact.
It's an artifact. 3 Phyrexian white, so either white or 2 life. Creatures can't attack you, or a planeswalker you control unless their controller plays a Phyrexian white for each of those creatures.
Right. For
So
me, this is a three mana card, and you pay 4 life is inconsequential in this deck.
yeah, so you have that one. I'm going to put that in the maybe board for now. Then
Okay.
you have Ghostly Prison.
Right.
Ghostly Prison is your 2 and a white enchantment. Creatures can't attack you unless the controller plays 2 for each creature. Again, classic. Then you have Sphere of Safety.
Right.
Sphere of Safety, we have a lot of enchantments, so 4 and a white enchantment. Creatures can't attack you or a planeswalker control unless the controller plays X for each of those creatures where X is the number of enchantments you control.
Okay.
So that's another one that I like. But I'm also going to do one that I don't think many people do know of. Koskinen Falls.
Yeah, that was the one that Ashen just suggested.
Koskinen Falls is from Homelands. It's 2 black for an enchant world. So bearing in mind, enchant world is still something that happens, and you can only have 1 world enchantment in play at any one time. But during your
Right.
upkeep, tap target untapped creature you control or sacrifice it. But creatures can't attack you unless they pay 2. It's another one, but in black. And personally, I really like this one.
Okay. I would say I like Koskinen Falls if we don't have access to white, because or even blue, for that matter, for
It's a
the ghostly
ghostly
prison-ish
prison.
effect.
Yeah, it's a propaganda in black.
Right. So, I mean, essentially, Koskinen Falls, as much as I love the card, and I recently acquired one myself, don't get me wrong, I love this card, but do we really want to be tapping an untapped creature during upkeep when we just have access to Ghostly Prison?
That's fair. So I will put
It's a
Norn's
fantastic card. I
Annex
love it.
and Koskinen
But
Falls in the maybe board then.
right.
And
So
we
for
can
for
keep...
myself, I quite like Norton's Annex because anybody that's not in white has to pay 2 life. In this deck, we are draining the table in multiple effects, whether they be extort or any kind of, you know, we have, come ball, just having them lose 2 life and we gain 2 life, things like that. Um, so I think that having to make the choice of losing life is going to put some pressure on them,
That's
which is what I
fair.
liked about it. Um, while in the meantime, we're just getting life left, right, and center.
Yeah. So I think in that instance then, Norn Annex, Sphere of Safety, and Ghostly Prism will be fine.
I think that's a good way to round it out, I think.
Yeah.
Um, so here's my question to you. So do we need 3 planeswalkers is my big thing.
Do we need any planeswalkers is the big question. Um,
I mean,
basically, I
so for
think
myself,
Tevish Sut, I think, is a bit of a... it's okay, but it doesn't fit this from what I feel.
okay. For me, it's just a pure draw engine. However, I mean, agree to disagree on that one. And I'm okay with taking Teversat out. I don't think it hurts the deck, but it does take away from a draw effect.
Okay.
So if that's the case, what do you think of in place of Tevish Sot? I will suggest something like a Dawn of Hope. Dawn of Hope is 1 and a white for an enchantment that reads, whenever you gain life, you may pay 2. If you do, draw a card. And we get to pay 3 and a white to create a 1/1 white soldier creature token with lifelink.
Yeah,
So more life.
works for me. I like that. And it also helps with our sphere of safety.
Yep. Ashen says Cosmos Elixir. Cosmos Elixir is out of call time, 4 mana for an artifact. At the beginning of your end step, draw a card if your life total is greater than your starting life total. Otherwise, you gain 2 life. So this kind of does go hand in hand with our both the starting life total cards that care about being greater than starting life total, or just life gain synergy. So I like the card. He also says or monarch cards. So things like Court of Bounty, I believe, is the white one, right? No, Court of Grace.
Court of Grace.
Court of Grace.
Yeah.
Yeah. Court of Grace. 2 white enchantment. When it enters the battlefield, you become the monarch. At the beginning of your upkeep, create a 1/1 white spirit creature token with flying. But if you're the monarch, create a 4/4 white angel creature token with flying instead. Okay.
Or we have Court of Ambition, 2 black. When it enters the battlefield, become the monarch. At the beginning of your upkeep, each opponent loses 3 life unless they discard a card. If you're the monarch, each opponent loses 6 life unless they discard 2 cards.
So more pressure on life. What do you like?
I think we're not... Discarding cards is quite devastating.
Right.
I want to run both. I am greedy. I want to run both, and I'm quite happy to find 2 cuts for them.
Sure. All right. Let me hit refresh here. So I think that for myself, do we need Dire Tactics? Because we have Anguished Unmaking.
No.
And we have a Swords to Plowshares.
Dire Tactics, I think, can come out now. We have better removal.
I would also... My thought is, do we need this much targeted removal? Like, even Utter End is 4 mana. I think 4 mana is a little bit on the pricey side for a targeted removal, personally. Because if you think about it, Thrilling Encore just lets things happen and then just brings it all back, right? For 1 extra mana.
With Utter End, I like it because it's target non-land permanent, so we can exile planeswalkers, artifacts, everything. I would be more than happy to cut Swords to Plowshare because it's just a creature.
Okay. I mean, I was thinking that we have Anguished Unmaking, so that's why I was saying, do we need Utter End on top of that? Because it's also a non-land permanent.
True. But I'm going to change this because I'm finding it hard to read the Anguish Unmaking.
Yeah.
I didn't even see it up there. Utter End is gone. Anguish Unmaking is staying in.
Yeah, I just like the Swords to Plowshares being 1 mana and just being able to be a flexible card.
Yeah.
Ooh. I also did realize that if I'm going to be running Utter End for 4 mana, I would rather Settle the Wreckage at that point. And even more so because of the cards we mentioned earlier. Like, let's give the leading player, more lands. And then we'll ramp out based off of their lands.
So did you want to put in Settle the Wreckage and take out Fumigate or Damnation?
For me, I think I would just include it. And I think I would probably take out... Yeah, let's take out Fumigate. I think we don't need to board wipe plus that.
Yeah.
Right? Because that'll be a better fit for this deck, I think, with all of the cards that care about, with our scholarship sponsors and so on and so forth. Yeah, I think that just fits better.
Yeah.
Also, just so you know, I mean, Kaya the Inexorable also is a 5 mana planeswalker that -3 is a and exiles a target non-land permanent. So
There
we
is
also have that as
there is that.
there
That
is
is
that.
absolutely true.
So I don't mind that at all. Okay. And what was the other card that we're finding a spot for?
The other one I've just gone down to 35 lands.
Okay, that's fair. What are we at right now?
We're at 100 cards exactly. And we
Okay.
are at a
So,
mana curve of 3.57.
okay. So go through and do you see anything that we particularly missed? Because I see at least two. Not to try to, go further, but so with all of our flying tokens and so on and so forth, I want to just bring up Saphara, Sky's Blade. It just seems like a really good fit here. Um, Saphara is a 7/7 flying lifelinker and gives other creatures you control that have flying indestructible. So all of our tokens will be indestructible.
All our
Um,
inklings.
yep.
Yeah.
Inklings, spirit tokens, what have you. But you could also just pay a white and tap 4 untapped creatures you control with flying to just get this out anytime.
Yeah.
Ashton says illness in the ranks seems like it should be cut now. Uh, illness in the ranks is the creature tokens get -1/-1, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I mean, if we're making some 1/1s, we don't want them to die right away, unless we're going for things like more the grave pacts and Dictate of Erebos, and then we can just make everybody else sacrifice stuff to go with it.
I think that's a different deck though.
Right. Yep.
So
I was just saying that's kind of the situation where it makes it worthwhile, right?
yeah, so cutting illness in the ranks, we've got Elish Norn, we've got Ethereal Absolution. So if we do give the tokens away, they're gonna die, but if we keep them, we're gonna get bigger versions.
Yep.
Yeah, that seems absolutely fair.
So one of the big things that I had as a win condition in this deck, tell me what you think of this. So command the Dreadhorde.
Ooh.
So we're gaining a lot of life. If this resolves, we could choose any number of target creature and or planeswalker cards in graveyards, not just yours. And it deals damage to you equal to the total converted mana cost of those cards. Put them onto the battlefield under your control. So we're getting a lot of life. Let's use that life as a resource. And take all our opponents' good cards, creatures, planeswalkers. What do you
I
think?
think it's fine. However,
Mm-hmm.
I would just rather put an Ether Flux in.
My only issue with Aetherflux is that, I mean, how many consecutive uh how many consecutive spells are we casting?
I don't think I care about the consecutive, in honesty. I'm just gonna hit over 50 life and just pay it. and
Okay.
just kill someone.
Okay.
I
We can go with
think in
Aetherflux.
that instance it's down to personal preference if you want to Ether Flux or command the Dreadhorde. Um, so that's just a matter of a taste, I feel.
Right. So we'll put in the Aetherflux. If it was me, I think I'd be putting in the Command the Dreadhorde because I want my Soul Warden back. I want my Ravos back on the board, my Veto, things like that.
Yeah,
But yeah, I mean, Aetherflux can easily just shoot someone in the face for 50. Yeah,
yeah.
I don't
So
mind that at all.
we need to cut one card to bring it back down.
Okay.
Um,
So let's see here. Hmm.
I'm just trying to find.
Yeah, we're just gonna take a second to go ahead and look through here. Anybody in chat, if you see anything that you want to cut as well, just let us know. But I think that I'm having a hard time with these cuts actually.
Yeah, this one's a little bit. I think. I am really struggling with this one. I'll be honest.
And the crazy part is, I also thought of one angel that we very, very much so forgot.
I think, do we just cut the Court of Ambition?
I think we can cut the court.
Yeah.
I think we have Kambal doing incremental ones, and I think that the discard's going to get us a lot of hate. I mean, it is a powerful effect. Don't get me wrong. If we're the monarch, or even if we're not, it's each opponent.
Yeah.
Um, so it does put a bit of a clock on the table, but I'm okay with cutting the ambition. Um, actually, hmm. No, I think I like the Court of Grace better. Yeah,
Yeah.
let's cut the ambition.
Okay.
Because at least it's a flyer. We can, use those 1/1 spirits for Sephara or any of those other effects. So I quite like that. Um, my actual question is maybe land tax as well. So hmm, do we do we not want Solemnity because we also can't
Oh,
put counters on
actually,
our stuff? I think
I
that one's a good one to get rid of.
I'm gonna take out Solemnity, put back the Court. Didn't see Solemnity there. That works for just one of our triggers. I I would rather have our massive Inklings and then start putting +1 counters on everything.
Yeah. Also, we have. I know it doesn't affect planeswalkers actually. So, yeah, but I mean, I think that you just target somebody that doesn't have that many creatures
Yeah.
and just give them all +1/+1 counters and just make a political deal out of it, right?
Yeah.
So the one angel that I noticed that we completely forgot is an Avacyn. Do we want or need Avacyn? Do you ever need Avacyn? But do we want Avacyn?
I don't think. I mean, you can. I just think sometimes Avacyn's a bit of a windmill.
Okay.
Like, if you get to the point where you cast it, most of the time it's to protect what you've already got, and what you've got is generally enough to start winning the game. I'm going to put it
Okay.
in the maybe board because, yes, I run it in my angel deck, but I don't tend to just play it unless I've got other stuff done first, because I'd rather cast more utility stuff than Avacyn.
Oh no, for sure. I mean, for me, it was just, something along the lines of like a victimize and just get it back out of the graveyard.
Yeah.
Anime dead out of the graveyard. That kind of situation for me.
Oh,
Um,
I totally agree, but I think,
but
yeah,
yeah, I think besides that, do you have any specific cards that you kind of wanted to talk about or include at this point then? Because I think I'm mostly good with the deck as it stands here.
yeah, no, I'm quite happy. I was quite glad that I did actually find Archaeomancer's map again, because that was one I really did want to talk about, because that card is definitely one to keep an eye on. Just,
Oh yeah.
it's white ramp at its best, because it has a lot of hoops to jump through, but I feel that the hoops that you're asked to jump through are barely noticeable, to be honest.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Hmm. Yeah, the only other thing that I can think of off the top of my head, realistically, is a Heliod Sun Crowned to give some creatures lifelink, and then whenever you gain life, you can put some +1/+1 counters on a creature. That's the only other thing that I can really think of that might give some value to the deck. But aside from that, I think it's pretty good. Ashen says Soul Ring. Do we not have a Soul Ring in?
We have a soaring. I think Ashen's more what a cuts we want to make.
Got
We know how
it.
Ashen doesn't like soaring.
I mean, yeah, I can agree. But yeah, I think so. The way that I see this deck playing out is that we don't necessarily have like 4 drops, 5 drops like that we really want to put out because we have some 5 drops in Archangel of Thune and Baneslayer Angel. It doesn't necessarily have to be Shadrix, but
Yeah.
like on 4, you might want to just drop a Keeper, the Accord, or the Scholarship Sponsor, and then they'll just start getting mana out there. So I don't think that I don't think that it plays out badly either.
No, I think it's fine. It's going to definitely scare people once the deck starts ticking over. Like, okay, this is a Silverquill deal. Oh, it's angels.
Yeah.
But
Yep. I quite like it.
I'm happy
I
with
quite like
this.
it where it is. Mm-hmm.
It's not your typical Orzhov Silverquill looking deck, but it works. There's synergies with the commander. I'm quite happy.
Yeah. My only thought here is, do we want to run something like a Chroma's Memorial as another like win con?
You can. Again, I always feel that in an angel deck, I run one myself because it's on theme. But generally, by the time you're using it, you're already winning.
Win more? Okay,
Yeah.
that's fair.
For
All
7
right.
mana, it
Yeah.
does a lot. But
7.
to actually get good benefit in
Oh,
angels.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Did I say a Chroma's Memorial? I meant a Chroma's Will. I apologize.
Chroma's Will.
Will. No, the Commander Legends creatures you control gain vigilance, double strike, flying, and lifelink indestructible protection from all colors. That's the one I was thinking of. I'm sorry. I
Right.
misspoke.
That one I would say is a good one, and I would happily cut something like Eerie Interlude for.
I might do Fracture instead.
Yeah.
Artifact Enchantment or Planeswalker. Yeah, I think we have enough targeted permanents that kind of blanket over Fracture. And I think
Okay.
that Fracture will get rid of somebody else's, whereas this is more proactive than responsive.
That makes sense. I'm happy with that.
But yeah, I think with that I'm happy. I'm good. Let's wrap this up here. We're good.
You're happy with that?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's a wrap then. So if you like what you see and you want to see more, visit our hub at intothe99.com for more articles, videos, podcasts, plus the link to our Discord community. Finally, if you wish to support us in a more financial way, please see our merch store for great t-shirts and more. Remember, just don't get into the 99. Wear it. Also, at this moment in time, we have the Rise of the Precon running. Go onto our website, sign up. You get to enter any precon, any precon that was ever released. Entry is free, but there are prizes for the winners. So come along, play us, and see what you can do. Otherwise, that's all from me, and I believe that's all from Han.
Yeah. Sounds like a plan.
So,
Precons, man. There's so many that I would want to run. I don't even know which one I would choose in that case.
well, I'm choosing Calamax from the
Oof.
Ikoria.
Mm, man, I would just want to play with everybody else's cards. I would probably go Paco and Halden. I think that was my most fun commander pairing in that Ikoria set.
That's the same deck as me, so we're on the same page then.
Yes, but I want to play with other people's cards. And
Okay.
Paco is a good boy.
But otherwise, thanks for joining us, and we will see you same time next week. Bye.
Bye, everybody. Have a good one.
Be safe.